Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this penultimate round of the Midwest F2 campaign, as well as perhaps a championship-deciding round here at the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. 20 corners make up this 5.5-kilometer circuit, with the circuit paying homage to a few other famous tracks such as Silverstone and the Hockenheimring. Track limits penalties can certainly steal the show, but do expect quality overtakes as well. So, this is basically the odds and the needs for each of our championship contenders today. El Majacco, well, he just needs to finish the Grand Prix, and he will be guaranteed that he is champion of this season. As far as the Constructors' Championship goes, the high-tech team will need to outscore the Prima team today in order to ensure the gap for next round, which I believe is 7 points, if I calculated it correctly. 8 points. The high-tech team will need to outscore Prima by 8 points to be crowned the Constructors' Championship of this season. As we're along now with El Majacco, the impending champion here in the Midwest F2 division, as he begins his timed lap of Circuit of the Americas, this uphill braking zone of turn number 1. Naturally, it's uphill, so you can brake a little bit later if you'd like to. Expect some moves into that first corner today. Through turn 1, maybe a little bit slow off exit. It looked like just hesitated temporarily to get back onto the throttle. Now making his way through turns 3, 4, 5, and the rest. This is homage to that of Maggots and Beckett's. I think Chapel as well at Silverstone. This is kind of their rendition of that, as he now makes his way up through turns 8 and 9, over the crest of the hill, looking down through turn 10. Take as much of the inside curb as you can without invalidating the lap, down into this tight corner of turn 11. Expect some moves to be made just there. And back on the throttle you go. DRS is going to be in your favor here in a moment, which he's got. I tell you what, it looks a slightly slow lap from Majacco at this moment in time. P11 as he heads down that back straight. Well, it's not much of a straight either, really. Down to turn 12. Nicely over the inside curb. Got to watch the throttle input through this corner here. Got to make sure you don't smack the inside curb too much. Into, I believe this is the carbon copy of the Hockenheim corner. Got to be careful through the little dip at the apex of the corner. That will send you for a spin, that. And now through this very long right-hander, reminiscent really of the old Sochi track that the series used to race on. Now through turns 19, back down the hill, eventually going through 20. Right here, oh, I think he's missed the apex just a little bit. Does he keep the lap together? Yes, he does. DRS open. It is Jonathan Dunk on pole, 1:43.895. And that is put just about a tenth and a half back to that of Lancey. Impossible Bacon, I guess, being disqualified from the session. So your starting grid then: Jonathan Dunk on pole, Lancey second, NFS Lightwork third, A-Dub fourth, Cake Thomas fifth, Jacko sixth, Galloway seventh, 8th is Coleslaw, 9th is Valentine, 10th Josh Sr., 11th Darkness King, and 12th Villeneuve, and everyone else behind him, including CPA Optics, Slayer Eyes, and Impossible Bacon, did not get a chance to put in a qualifying worthy time lap there. They have been disqualified from the session. Oh man, Hotspot on the call, joining you here. I've just returned from a miniature vacation out to Las Vegas. I have been awake since 11 o'clock of yesterday. I've racked up, I guess, 1 hour of sleep. I've got 3 Red Bulls to my name, and I'm ready for this championship race, a potentially championship race here at Circuit of the Americas. Really quick, and we saw this last season as well, with El Majacco taking home the championship here last season. Can we just look and see who has the F2 record book? Yeah, so Jacko looking now for back-to-back championships. It's Season 5. Naturally, we didn't have a F2 division, but he won the championship back in Season 4 and Season 2 as well. So he's looking to become a 4-time champion here today, is El Majacco. And that high-tech team, especially for them, this is actually their second attempt at a Constructors' Championship. Their last one coming in Season 3 with the team of Mystic Joker, which is now Scornsey, and HSVDT, a name that we've actually been missing here in F2. That used to be a driver that we saw a lot of the time in this F2 division, and, well, I haven't heard his name too much recently, so I kind of wish he would be able to come back, but he's not done that. So here we go now. Formation lap underway. It looks like we're going to have super softs and mediums on tap for you today. Same thing as we had in Australia last week. You got the softest compound, and then you got the jump past the softs onto the mediums. So it looks like it might be another one of those scenarios where we might have a very interesting tire strategy call at the end of it. Lightwork has chosen the mediums. Has he? Yeah. Chosen the mediums. Starting third. He might be in quite the hole here. He's got A-Dub, who's going to be starting on the row next to him. Cake Thomas behind him. El Majaco next to him. So Lightwork's going to have one hell of a lot of defending to do. Sorry, Lightwork. Did I say Lightwork? I don't even know. Lightwork's going to have a lot of defending to do here in order to keep his third position. Also in the mediums, we have Valentine, Villeneuve, and Possible Bacon. Now, Valentine, a driver that's at that Australian race, you remember, had a big tire gamble there at the end, and it paid off for him, racking up, I believe, his best finish of the F2 campaign so far this season. I think it was very much in the top 5 positions. It was a very good race from him, and he'll be looking to recreate that today. El Majaco, last minute, his teammate of Mayhem Tomorrow has actually not decided to turn up, and mind you, all that high tech need to do is outscore Prima by 8 points to be crowned Constructors Championship, crowned Constructors Champion of the season. El Majaco, well, all he really needs to do is finish the race, to be completely honest. It's just a formality at this point for him. Have we had M. Galloway go off there? It almost looks like we have. Speaking of going off, Impossible Bacon has found his way into the dirt somehow. That before heading into the Hockenheim series of corners there is Jonathan Dunk making his way back to the line. In the dams, he's going to have Lancey, the HWA, on his inside. This HWA team has really been coming alive quite recently. Lancey, a super quick driver. He'll be looking to really stick this thing up the inside into turn number 1. As you can see, he's quite angled in there towards Jonathan Dunk's left front tire. NFS Lightwork in position for this as well. Now, really, if you're Lightwork, you're going to be hoping for a safe trip here around the outside because, well, you're going to be in quite the hole on the mediums off the start, so we'll have to wait and see how well it'll pay off for him. We have lights coming on here, the penultimate round of the Midwest F2 season, and finally, they are off. Now, who gets the best start off the line? Lancey, look at that, up the inside already. He has by far gotten the best start. He's going to have that inside line going up the hill. El Majaco, look at that. He is trying to late break at least A-Dub there into the corner. Does he have it? Yes, he does. Into the podium places is El Majaco. Jonathan Dunk falling off the top spot. Then the HWA, the Dutchman of Lancey, able to take the spot. Cake Thomas, I believe, has kept 5th. Lightwork has fallen down to 6th. This is one of the things we were worried about with him starting on those medium tires. Side by side there, Josh Senior, I believe it was Galloway as well. Slayerized and Valentine battling it out there. Valentine down to the inside. Valentine, I don't believe he's had himself a good start, and has he lost front wing as well? Is certainly driving like he has. No, he hasn't. Perhaps he just had a moment of, let me get out of the way and regroup. Oh, and Darkness King nearly lost the car there, coming out of turn number 9. And thankfully, he's been able to hold on. And Lancey now leading the drivers down the back straight. M. Galloway and Josh Senior swapping positions here. Josh Senior has managed to get around the dams then. Very nicely done. It looks like Shariah Coleslaw within that slipstream of Lightwork ahead. Does he have anything? Once again to the MP driver who is on the medium tires. He's not going to actually attempt for it just yet. Mind you, if you're on the super softs and you got a driver on the mediums in the way, you're going to need to make that move soon because eventually the mediums will be the better tire, and that is the risk you take. El Majaco and Jonathan Dunk side by side here going through turn number 14 this is. Still side by side now. We got a yellow flag towards the back. It looks like Villeneuve has gone off then. El Majaco has decided to play it carefully then, as he has, I guess, ceded track position then to Jonathan Dunk. They were side by side there for a minute. It was a great battle. El Majaco said, nope, I don't need to take this risk, and he backs out of it. down the straight then. Oh, and M. Galloway's gone. What has happened to M. Galloway? ESPN decided to give us a notification there. Why is the mini-map on and not the full track map? I do not believe this is a safety car. No, just virtual safety car then. But what has happened to M. Galloway coming out of turn number 19? That is quite the odd place to lose it there. I wonder if perhaps contact was involved with somebody, because again, that is a really odd position of the track to just up and lose the car. We'll have to find a replay of that somewhere. Lancey has the top spot. Jonathan Dunk down to second. Majacco down to third. Where is our thing there? Yeah, Majacco up 3 spots. Lightwork down 3. CPA Optic, he's up 5. Currently has made up the most amount of positions. Josh Senior's up 1. Slayerized up 4. Bacon up 4. And then Valentine and Lightwork tied for the biggest losers on the grid at the moment, -3. Although I will say, despite Valentine not having a good start there, you can assure that perhaps he's staying out of the carnage now and letting the rest of the field perhaps eliminate itself so that he can come on back. That's I wouldn't say a great strategy to take, considering you'll still need a lot of pace to get around everyone else, but it might work. Still not a full safety car, virtual safety car, and we're back under green flag racing conditions. Lancey now making his way through turns 13 and 14 now. This is turn 15 up here, I believe. Yes, it is. Turn 15. Exiting turn 15 now, El Majacco. Once again, trying to hunt down the dams of Jonathan Dunk ahead. It looks like this is currently the closest battle on track. 0.3 of a second between the Prima and the dams. At this moment in time, I believe it is going to be right close between them and the high-techs. But does El Majacco have anything for Jonathan Dunk? DRS will be enabled this lap, so heading down that back straight then. From turns 11 to 12, you will expect to have DRS, and I expect a lot of overtakes to be made there. It looks like Villeneuve has had himself a little bit of a spin going out of turn 18. He's been able to regroup the car, thankfully for him, and he's not managed to hit anything as well. That's a good feature of this track, is that there's not a lot of things for you to hit, for you to DNF. If you're going to DNF, it's going to be because of another car, not necessarily because you've gone and hit a wall. So, at least they've got that to look forward to. CPI Optics within a little bit of Jiraiya Coleslaw here, going up now through turns 8, 9, and 10. Let's see what he's got. CPI Optics, super quick driver. He's going to be looking to make quick work of the high-tech in front of him to get around him here. Does he have the inside? No, he doesn't. He's going to peek around the outside, going to dip back inside, and perhaps with the aid of DRS, that one will be made. And Darkness King has gone off. What is this? And this is coming out of turns 8 and 9, yet another full virtual safety car on track, just the lone retirement then. But what has happened there to Darkness King? That is a bit of an odd place to DNF as well. Let's see what he's got. Exiting turn number 9. And, well, that was the scene of the crime right there. I'm not quite sure. Again, interesting place to lose the car, and that once again neutralizes the field. Lancey having the lead, Jonathan Dunk second, Majacco third. A-Dub there in 4th, and Kate Thomas in 5th. Once again, let me do some maths here on the go. Going to be looking at, what's this? What's that? Nothing. 449 minus 397. I'm actually not worried about that. El Majacco currently third. DRS re-enabled here. Close battling here within the top 5. It looks like pretty much every driver within a couple tenths of the other, all throughout the top 10. CPI Optic, he's within a little bit here of Jiraiya Coleslaw ahead. Still looking for it now, riding that rev limiter, trying to find any sort of pace advantage he can. Is that MP? Does he have it down into turn 11? Let's see if he makes the move, and he doesn't. Let's see, he might have it here, down to the inside. Looks the MP then of CPI Optic. Does he have it over Shariah Coleslaw? He still has that inside line. Even Stevens heading into turn 12. Who outbreaks the other? And CPI Optic does make the position there. Very nicely done then from the MP. Oh, little contact there to the back of the car. So right now, as it stands, High-Tech outscoring Prima by 11 points. Mind you, they only need to do it by 8 in order to be crowned Constructors' Champions. So at this moment in time, all the High-Techs really have to do is have themselves a clean race here, which at the moment they have. 11 points outscoring that Prima, which again, they only need 8 to be crowned champions. Marching our way toward the halfway point of the race. Does Shariah Coleslaw perhaps have anything for CPI Optic? It'll be interesting to see. It looks like, at this moment in time, CPI Optic actually getting out to a decent little advantage here over that High-Tech there of Shariah. A little bit further up, here's A-Dub looking to knock El Majacco off the podium here. Does he have it? Two really quick drivers. Down to the turn 11 they go. Does he have anything into the corner? How good of a run does he get off this corner? Because that's going to really make the difference between if he gets a good DRS run or not. DRS enabled for the HWA as they head down towards turn number 12. It looks as if El Majacco ahead doesn't really have much to worry about there from A-Dub. It looks like Lightwork might eventually try to make a move on Cake Thomas. Now he is within about 0.5 of a second. Currently the closest battle on track. I would have to assume we're getting close to the pit window as well. About halfway through the Grand Prix. That's about right for F2, no matter what tires, no matter what strategy you're running. It's pretty much always going to be the case. We're going to be stopping about halfway through the race. And there's not really been, well, I mean, there's not been a safety car as well, so Lightwork will be perhaps on the advantage once the pit window comes into play. CPI Optic 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. That's not helped him whatsoever. As he also does set the fastest lap, 1:47.204. Making the way up the hill into turn number 1. Does he have anything around the outside? No, he doesn't. So again, assuming the safety car won't come in, Lightwork is at the advantage here. Because, remember, he started on the mediums, he'll have the super softs coming out of the pits, everybody else around him will be on mediums. Looks like yellow flag towards the back. Impossible Bacon has taken a trip into the grass, and Valentine has fallen off slightly as well. It's two suspects entering there, and Valentine, he's not missing any front wing. Impossible Bacon, what's happened there? Has he just lost it on his own, I wonder? Has he perhaps gotten in the way of Valentine, and that's what's made him fall off the pace? That might be the case. Slayer is going to be looking down to the inside of Josh Sr. Nothing to be had there. But, crucially, El Majacco, can he find a move here on Jonathan Dunk heading down to the turn 12? It's going to be side by side. Who's later on the brakes? It looks like El Majacco might get there, as Lightwork overtaking Cake Thomas as well. Let's see, Jonathan Dunk's going to want Jacko down to the inside still, heading through into the Hockenheim section of corners here. El Majacco looks like, at the moment, will be holding on to the spot. Nice driving there. Cake Thomas almost had a go at CPI Optic down to the left side. Wasn't quite there to make the move happen. NFS Lightwork's going to be trying to do his best to get around A-Dub here. So, suddenly the pace coming alive for Lightwork. Mind you, on those medium tires, he's going to find that slipstream of A-Dub ahead. Jonathan Dunk, he's going to be trying to strike back at El Majacco here. DRS enabled for the Dams. Shariah Coleslaw on his way into the pits. That has been, I'd like to say, kind of an undercut here, as I'm going to temporarily go away from that battle, but not for long, because Jonathan Dunk down to the inside, trying to find the position around El Majacco as they make their way through the first couple of corners here. Beautiful racing this is, between two very, very quick drivers as they make their way through what really is the Silverstone portion of this circuit, and Jonathan Dunk does getting that position back from El Majacco. Now, Shariah Coleslaw, has he made a wing change? Is just my only thinking. I can't quite tell because he's fallen back quite significantly now. That might be the case. Maybe he has fit a new wing. I didn't quite get the chance to see, so my bad on that. But CPI Optic now, does he have anything for his teammate here? I think he looks quite eager to get around NFS Lightwork. He's going to be within the slipstream here. DRS enabled for the MP. Behind the High-Tech does have it as well. Now, does CPI Optic have anything on his teammate of Lightwork here as they head down towards turn number 12? Lightwork's going to protect that inside line. Optic's going to try it around the right. A little bit of a lockup there ahead from Lightwork. No contact made. Lightwork down to the inside of A-Dub. Does anything happen there? Optic's going to try it around the left side. That doesn't happen. That move. You can start to see the super softs wearing away there for CPI Optic, who at this moment in time battling with his teammate for that 5th spot, side by side between the two MPs. Contact being made there. That's not necessarily what you want at all between two teammates, and Lightwork for now is going to keep the position. Now, the undercut, did it come into play for Shariah Coleslaw as drivers coming into the pits? Those including Jonathan Dunk, El Majacco, A-Dub, Kate Thomas. Did A-Dub, actually, something happened there. That was quite weird. We had a little bit of a struggle going into the pits there. Now, this is the thing. Shariah Coleslaw, he's a bit far behind. He'll need some luck, really, to make up some positions here, as many drivers have already completed their stops. That being El Majacco as well. We get a yellow flag. That's perhaps been one of the MPs who's taken perhaps a spill. I believe, has Valentine come in? No, he hasn't. So everybody in the top 5 at the moment has not pit. El Majacco and Jonathan Dunk now battling for what probably will be the lead of the race. A-Dub there. Oh no, and Kate Thomas has gone off. Well, he was side by side with A-Dub there momentarily. He's not lost any front wing, it seems. So that there is quite lucky for Kate Thomas. And was he just side by side there with A-Dub coming out of the pits, and was contact made? Was it minimal? Was it a lot? It's hard to tell. That was a very odd incident to take place, but thankfully for Kate Thomas, his race continues, and he's not lost any of his front wing as well. El Majacco currently 7th. He will be taking over the top spots if he can get around Jonathan Duncan once everyone else comes into pit. It looks like CPI Optic not exactly happy there with his teammate of NFS Lightwork. That one might, as he's put in the Discord now, do people even recognize who their teammate is? Well, he's used the wrong kind of there, but so that's that. But I tell you what, that's quite the interesting thing there. Slayer Eyes has a couple of tenths here to Josh Sr. It looks like Lancey is on his way into the pits. Lightwork staying out another lap. Mind you, he started on the mediums. He won't need to come in for a little bit. CPI Optic on his way in. Valentine chooses to stay out more. He started on the mediums as well. And we can expect Impossible Bacon to stay out too. So everybody that started on the medium tires currently has themselves at the top 3. Here's Slayer Eyes. Does he have anything for Josh Sr. heading into turn 20 as we're halfway through this race now? No, he doesn't. It looks like A-Dub there getting promoted up to the 7th position. El Majacco still battling it out here with Jonathan Dunk for what will be eventually the lead of the Grand Prix. Now, mind you, this will be Jonathan Dunk's 3rd, count on 3rd, race win of the year if he's able to pull it off. But he took quite a significant break, I believe. He didn't race with us after Singapore. So, it's been quite a while for Jonathan Dunk. Of course, he's been racing here and there these past couple of weeks. But for a driver that has only recently got himself back into the car, he's doing quite well, as he's got 0.3 of a second now to Lancey, who Lancey, mind you, has a stop already. This will be for the lead of the race here. Does Jonathan Dunk have anything for Lancey? I didn't even see Lancey. He must have done something to get around Jonathan Dunk and El Majacco, I believe. Those two were battling for the lead. Maybe I've just missed that, really. Jonathan Dunk now, does he have anything for Lancey? He's going to be looking down to the inside into turn 12. Late on the brakes. Goes the Dams. Does he have it? Past the HWA. It's side by side. Still side by side now. El Majacco watches on, hoping he can capitalize on perhaps an error. And for now, Lancey stays ahead. Slayerized and Josh Sr. battling it out there for the 9th and 10th spot. It looks like, bit of a switcheroo happening there. Jonathan Dunk went deep. Lancey, an error has been made there. Lancey gets off the throttle momentarily, and it impedes Jacko for some reason. And now Jonathan Dunk has the lead of the Grand Prix. Lancey he doesn't have the lead. He will have the lead, assuming Lightwork, Valentine, and Possible Bacon, they're going to have to come in. Although I will say, Lightwork at this moment of time has built himself up one hell of a gap back to 4th place, 23 seconds. Lightwork might get away with this one scot-free if he holds the pace that he has. Slayer Eyes looking around Josh Sr. here. Does he have anything up into turn number 1? He's going to be looking up that inside, late on the brakes, up the hill. Does he have it? Yes, he does, although he's taking the apex rather straight there. That's not really gone well, and now he's going to lose the position to Cake Thomas as well, who, Slayer Eyes, was late on the brakes, kind of had a moment of error there going across the curb through turn 1, and he, instead of gaining the position over Josh Sr., he's actually lost another one back to Cake Thomas, who now finds himself in 10th. His high-tech teammate of Shariah Coleslaw finds himself 8th at this moment in time. I believe they still as well outscore El Majaco's Prima team. For now. I'm not sure if it'll stay that way. Looks as if perhaps Cake Thomas and Josh Sr. side by side going through turn 12. Lightwork, 5-second penalty for speeding into the pit lane. The leader of the Grand Prix, who by the way worked himself up quite the gap there back to the rest of the field, has now got himself on the back foot really. So, how does that change things here? Valentine has actually stayed out once again. El Majaco finding his way once again up into the podium places. Really, Valentine still hasn't pit. Now, Valentine likes to play these long strategy games here where he doesn't come in. He really tries to pull off overcuts and undercuts. He really has been, I guess, the wildest so far this season on the pit strategies. It looks like, I believe that was Villeneuve, who's picked up 3 seconds for multiple warnings. That promotes the high-tech team to 7th and 8th. Slayer Eyes within a couple of tenths of Josh Sr. then for the 9th spot. Meanwhile, Lancey within 4 tenths of Jonathan Dunk for, I'd say, the lead of the race once Valentine comes in, but if we have another late safety car like we had in Australia, that might be something to look out for. Down the back straight they go. Does Lancey have anything for him late on the brakes? He's going to look around the outside. That's right late on the brakes then. Optic 5-second penalty for crossing the pit lane exit. And I believe, have we a yellow flag there atop the hill? Someone had taken a spin perhaps momentarily. And yet again, CPI Optic has found himself now battling it out here with Villeneuve. What is actually happening between these two? That's quite odd, I must say. Now, entering lap number 12, does Valentine choose to come in? Yes, he does. What kind of advantage or disadvantage has he dug for himself here? We're going to find out in a second. Lancey and Jonathan Dunk rounding the final corner now. DRS enabled for the HWA to the back of the dams. Does he have anything? Lightwork within a couple of tenths here of El Majaco. It looks like yet again Optic and Villeneuve swapping positions there. A-Dub up into 5th place now. Majaco up to 4th. Lightwork, I believe, has managed to get around El Majaco, or at least insert himself between himself and the Prima. That keeps El Majaco in 4th. Now, mind you, Lightwork has penalties at this moment, 5 seconds, and that being for speeding into the pit lane. The previous leader of the Grand Prix, who was going to pick up a serious quite amount of positions. What has happened with CPI Optic? What exactly is he doing here? He's gone off into the boonies, really, is what he's done. And purposely goes onto the throttle. Lets Villeneuve go by. Alright, well, anyways. Slayerized 0.2 of a second back to Josh Sr. Does he have anything into turn 11? I think he really wanted a look, but wasn't quite there. Still within that slipstream there of the Virtuosi team ahead, which, by the way, currently occupy positions 8 and 9. This will be a great result for them. Villeneuve and Optic into the pits. Impossible Bacon up the inside then of Slayerized, his temporary teammate, both of them filling in for the ART team here today. Does he have it up the inside? Yes, he does. Very nicely done then from Impossible Bacon to make that move happen. Currently, at this moment in time, a second and a half separate the top 3, and then it's 3 seconds within the top 4. Let's see if Lightwork, I mean, naturally he does have the 5-second penalty. He's just set the fastest lap 1:46.044. That makes him have, at this moment in time, the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. CPA Optic and Villeneuve coming out of the pits now. I think that puts them at least a lap down. Impossible Bacon getting around Josh Sr. Something's happened there at the top of the hill. Villeneuve has gone off towards the inside. CPI Optic. Well, I'm not quite sure what's happened there. Villeneuve into the wall. I think on purpose as well. Villeneuve 10-second penalty exceeding track limits, and he goes and parks the car. And I'm hoping that this isn't an intentional DNF from him, as Valentine picks up 3 seconds for multiple warnings. CPI Optic off up ahead, both of these drivers now. Well, I'm actually not really sure what's happened there, but happening it is. Lightwork within, 0.3 on Lancey ahead as we enter in the final stretch of this Grand Prix. Does Lightwork have anything for Lancey? Does Lancey have anything for Jonathan Dunk? Lightwork 3-second penalty for multiple warnings, 8 seconds for the MP driver as CPI Optic just weaving down the straights here. With Villeneuve in behind, I gotta say it's kind of a poor thing to do from both of them, but I don't know. NFS Lightwork, oh, and that's big contact there, and Lancey's gone around. My, Lancey has gone around and dropping down the order in Lightwork really then hooked with the tire of Lancey, and Lancey drops down to 6th. What in the hell happened there? Suddenly, Lancey finds himself all the way down the order, NFS Lightwork. I mean, I'm not sure what's happened there, but that was, Lightwork's going to have a lot of explaining to do, I'm afraid. That one, that was really quite filthy, that one. A-Dub, 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. CPI Optic off once again, spins it round coming out of Hockenheim corner. Lightwork within 0.4 of Jonathan Dunk ahead. Heavy on the brakes there, making sure not to careen into the back of the race leader. Villeneuve has retired from the session, that being in the pits. CPA Optic has actually spun it around, going past the pit lane there. Lightwork looking for it around Jonathan Dunk. Let's go ahead and just look at the penalties temporarily. It looks like A-Dub's got 3, but it looks like he's clear of Shariah at this moment in time. Lightwork's got 8. So at this moment in time, yet again, it is still an 11-point gap between El Majaco's Prima team and that of the High Techs. Remember, the High Tech team only needs 8 points to win the Constructors' Championship. Looking back now, does Valentine, he might have a go at Cake Thomas here. Villeneuve leaving the session. And it looks like, has Jonathan Dunk made an error, or has he been overtaken by Lightwork? I'm going to guess it was the second one, as Lightwork has gotten around the dams then of Jonathan Dunk. Valentine and Cake Thomas nearly side by side there for a minute. Impossible Bacon wants in on this battle as well. We've got about a lap and a half to go now. Impossible Bacon, oh, and that's 3 seconds for Impossible Bacon. And that's not what he needed at all. He was right in this battle as well, and now has to truly race for position between himself and Valentine. We've got CPI Optic. That's gone there once again, coming out of Hockenheim corner with the leaders coming in close pursuit behind. It looks like now at least a second gap has been made between Lightwork and Jonathan Dunk for the lead. Valentine and Cake Thomas have gone side by side there. Cake Thomas still has the outside, and I believe really he's going to let Valentine go here. He doesn't need to battle with people that have 3-second time penalties, and now Impossible Bacon, he's going to want that inside as well. Bacon, mind you, on the super soft tires. Be looking to the outside, perhaps as he switched down to the inside there on Cake Thomas. No, it doesn't get made, although Josh Sr. and Slayer Eyes now battling it out. They're side by side going through Hockenheim corner, and Josh Sr. is able to hold off the attacks of the ART driver behind. Lancey, within 0.5 of a second on Shariah Coleslaw ahead. Final lap of the Grand Prix now. Jonathan Dunk really just has a clean lap away from himself and from his third win of the season. Elma Jacko behind him on the precipice of becoming a 4-time champion. Lancey, 0.6 of a second behind Shariah Coleslaw. This would really throw a wrench into the plans of that high-tech team. Shariah really needs to defend like a lion here because, oh, and it looks like Slayer Eyes. Josh Sr., no, and he's gone around there towards the back. That coming out of turn number 9, going in towards turn 10. He finally gets the car back up and going. Quite odd there. Lancey doesn't look as if he's made the move around Shariah Coleslaw. For Coleslaw's sake, he really has to defend this position. The maps are going to be quite close without me looking at it here. Lancey looking around the right side. Does he have anything? No, he's going to duck back down to the inside. And it looks for now as if Shariah Coleslaw has the position. Lancey has every right to be upset with what happened to him. But it is Jonathan Dunk coming around the line now. He will win the Grand Prix here today. But it is Elma Jacko, a four-time Midwest F2 champion. It has been a great season for him. He's remained absolutely consistent through every leg of the season, and really a unbelievable achievement, which, by the way, might be, has cemented himself at this point as the greatest F2 driver of all time here in the Midwest. He's claimed himself a 4th championship, and while I believe the Constructors' Championship will get away from him, he's done absolutely everything he could to keep himself in position. It's been an unbelievably great season for Jacko. And Jonathan Dunk taking his 3rd win of the season. So at the end of it all here, Jonathan Dunk taking his 3rd win of the season, El Mojako claiming 2nd and his 4th F2 championship, Lightwork 3rd, A-Dub 4th, Shariah Coleslaw and Cake Thomas for the high-tech team claiming the Constructors Championship. Lancey there finished 6th. Cake Thomas, as we said, 7th, Valentine 8th, Bacon 9th, Slayer Eyes 10th, 11th, Josh Senior, and 12th is CPI Optic, and I believe everyone else behind did not get a chance to finish the session. It's been an absolutely great season, ladies and gentlemen, here in F2, and we still have 1 round to go as the league takes on the Mexico City circuits next week. Hotspot, thank you for joining us on the call, and we will see you next time out in Mexico.